What's up everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. So I made a video a few days ago talking about transparency from Gotham Knights and how the developers have, in my opinion, done a good job to showcase a lot about the game, a lot more than many other games anyways. And an audience member of mine and I were having a chat just about some of the things that, we would love to see with Gotham Knights. And it came to our realization that the amount of content that's been shown surrounding this game is insane. We were talking about the villains, and we're talking about possibly the developers revealing more villains, because this reveal was very telling. We got to see Harley Quinn. We got to see a lot of teases that seem to lean towards Mr. Pig or Professor Pig, however it is you refer to him. And, just some other tidbits back and forth. And there's still villains that, if they're available in the game, it won't be bad for us to get to see them. Other things too that fans are asking for, and it seems like fans are asking for too much, are things like maybe, possibly a demo. I'm one of the people on the forefront constantly asking for a demo. It may sound crazy, but I wanted to go ahead and actually talk about our reasoning behind all of this. From 2019, when this game was first released, or revealed, all the way through now, the gaming landscape has really changed. In fact, right now, game developers understand the power of using the internet to showcase their games, rather than the old practice of using big platforms and shrouds of secrecy and mystery to hype the games. In today's day and age, if you don't show enough, you're probably not going to sell your video game. I think games like Gotham Knights are actually on the forefront of this new marketing theme, where you actually show as much as possible of your video game. In fact, right now, we're seeing IGN do some collaboration with God of War Ragnarok to start showing some artistic sides of the game. You're going to see this trend continue. Ragnarok is going to do some kind of a reveal and just drip feed information, content, and presentations about their games until release. Other video games will do the very same thing over time, because as the medical issues of 2020 hit and we could not have E3 and we had to depend, or video game companies had to depend on using the internet forums for their marketing, it seemed like all they had to do and all they could do was show more than just some trailer or some gameplay, because more and more people were watching, but with a bigger and a more skeptic eye. Now, the skepticism had been building for years, but it just happened to have heightened. And then Cyberpunk 2077 pretty much hit at the end of that year. And it really caused a lot of people to reevaluate how it is they look at these video game releases and what exactly it is the developers are doing in regard to, maybe showcasing their video games or maybe bringing something to the forefront of the market. So this brings us to our conversation as to the developers and their possible transparency compared to, say, other video game developers. In fact, I thought in my mind that the Gotham Knights developers have shown so much of this game compared to many other games that the only thing left for them right now is to throw a bunch of fans in a Boeing 737 and fly us into Montreal and be like, hey man, here's a controller, play Gotham Knights right now, because it's, in my opinion, so absurd that this practice has not necessarily been the norm, but now it's being normalized. And a lot of other studios and a lot of other firms are going to start to take note and maybe follow up with this kind of a practice down the road. So it brings me to the position where I say we're literally about, 8 or so more days away from their 1 month long reveal, where they've shown us multiple themes of the game. They've shown us things about the open world. They've shown us things about the skills. They've shown us a little bit about gameplay in the past few months. They've done a developer Q&A. They said they would do another one, so hopefully we're looking forward to that. And they've been very, very upfront about the way the suits and costumes are going to work in the game, talking about transmog and all of those things. The one thing, though, that I didn't necessarily hear in that conversation with the transmog is how all of the different suits and skins will be earned, because some people did not buy, say, the deluxe editions that have exclusive transmogs attached to them. Is it possible for them to be able to earn those, or do they have to actually have the deluxe edition? Usually the developers won't say things like that. That's one of those areas where devs will not say anything, because if you can actually earn them, then it makes the people who pay for the deluxe version feel like they've actually, overspent in terms of that. There might be, say, a deluxe edition upgrade where you can actually get that down the road that might be discounted. So for those who may not necessarily want to purchase that right now, it is something that you can look forward to as the game is going on. Or as the game is released and eventually, holiday sales and promotions start to get into play. So thinking about all of this, there are still some things that many fans would still love to see, but one of the best parts is the developers continue to entertain these ideas. I don't know if the marketing is something that has just been planned and the needs and requests of the audience and the community are just intersecting with it, or it's 100%. They probably have something, some semblance of what they want to do, and they just use audience feedback to showcase what it is. But in my opinion, I feel like it's working. Some of the comments that I've seen lately on my videos have been very interesting, because even some of my audience members for the longest time, they've said to me, I don't think I'm ready to get this game just yet. And to that, I say, I commend that, because it's nice for you to be able to take the time to make up your mind. But I've started to see some of my audience members and some folk in the community actually come around. I'm talking full circle, saying, at this stage, I am in a point where I have no reason to be undecided. And I'm not saying everyone is there. I'm just saying it's good for us to recognize exactly where we are. There are video games where even if I wanted to buy them, I'm still in a position where I have very little information about games like that. Example of one of them is Callisto Protocol. Now, God of War, you might say, well, why not God of War? Well, we already have the first God of War game, and the second one is going to follow suit in terms of story. It's going to be, in terms of combat and mechanics, quite similar. So we do have some sort of a foundation to go off of. But some other games, we don't have anything. Gotham Knights, on the other hand, is a new game, in a sense, a new iteration of the Batman universe games. So its only methodology to actually appeal to audiences and fans is to do exactly this, which is to show as much information as possible, hopefully not spoil the entire game. But at this stage, especially with the climate, I think this is the wise way for them to be able to go. This landscape of developers showcasing their games is about to be redefined. And as I've said, Gotham Knights is on the forefront of redefining exactly what it is. So whether or not you're impressed, at least you know now, today, so you can make that decision, or maybe you might want to wait for something else and move on from there. But at this stage, like I've said, most of us already decided exactly where it is we're going to be surrounding this game. So I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. The transparency so far, as a note on this date, the 23rd of August, what do you think it's looking like compared to other games that will be releasing in the holiday window? Do you think we have enough information? Do you think there probably needs to be a little bit more? I think if you ask for more, there's nothing wrong with that. You're paying for the product, and the developers, if they're certain, which they look like they are, will be happy to show as much as it is that they can within reasonable means. Talk to me in the comment section, and hopefully we'll chat in another video. Peace out.